Welcome back, everybody. Matt the Matt here. Hope you're doing well. You know that saying, if we can't get more of the rings in December, why not Avatar, right? If we can't get Peter Jackson, we'll settle for James Cameron. Am I right? Matt the Matt. Before we get started today, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel, make this part of your Christmas list. Subscribe to Matt the Matt. I do a lot of movie reviews, movie news, anything big that happens in the movie world, I try and talk about. If you're a movie guy, movie person, movie fan, you should subscribe to the channel. Make this part of your Christmas presents. Matt the Matt. Always here. So today we are talking about Avatar 3, and I'm so glad we didn't have to wait another 20 years for another Avatar film. But I'll be honest, I have a love-hate relationship with these movies. I grew up on James Cameron, who hasn't? Whether it's Terminator 2, Titanic, Aliens, True Lies. Well, after Titanic, he didn't make another movie till Avatar. So, there you go. So you know, I know the news. Not really, but I tried. I actually met one of the stunt women who actually worked on Terminator 2 back when I was in college. True story. So I met someone who was a stunt woman for Linda Hamilton when she was making Terminator 2. So she worked with Arnold and James Cameron. So you see, there's some kind of a connection. But anyway, like I said, I have a love-hate relationship with these movies. I'll go see them, but for whatever reason, after I see them once, I don't ever watch them again. Now there are people out there that will watch a movie one time and never watch it again. I know people even in my own family that will only watch a movie once. Whether they liked it or not, they'll just never watch it again. But me, I go back and watch movies over and over and over. But for some reason, my other James Cameron movies, Terminator, Aliens, Titanic, but for some reason, the Avatar movies, no comprende. After I saw the first one, after I bought it on DVD back in April of 2010, I watched it once, haven't watched it again. Avatar 2 came out 3 years ago in December 2022. Watched it in the theater, never watched it again. I don't know why, I don't know if just these movies don't gravitate toward me to go back and watch again. I don't know if it's just because seeing it in the movie theater is a visual spectacle, and then watching it at home on a smaller screen doesn't have the same impact. I don't know. I just don't go back and watch these movies. Like when Avatar 3 comes out on Disney Plus, I don't know if I'll go back and watch it. I don't know. But if they make an Avatar 4, I'll go see it. You see what I mean? So let's get into it. Positive. Avatar 3. Fire and Ash. Obviously the main positive is the visuals. Once again, the visuals are amazing. And I saw this in 2D, not in 3D. And it still blew me away. This time though, James Cameron did use a high frame rate when he was making this one. And there are scenes in the movie that will be the normal frame rate that the other Avatar movies, but then the next shot will be at a higher frame rate. But then we'll cut back to the normal frame rate, then back to the high frame rate, and cut. And it does that throughout the whole movie. It didn't bother me. I mean, there were some moments that I was like, okay, it looks even more realistic. Now the high frame rate is like what they used in the Hobbit films for Peter Jackson's The Hobbit. And I didn't like that in those movies. maybe I wasn't used to them, so it was kind of weird to me. But I did not mind it in here. Now, some people might mind it, but that might be one of the criticisms of why did it keep changing? It kept it looked weird. One minute it was normal, and then it was weird looking. And I'm sure that, but for me it didn't matter. Only sometimes it did. Stephen Lang as the Colonel is one of the best characters in this franchise, especially in this one. He not only gets the best one-liners, especially like military one-liners, but just his character is multi-layered. And I think he's one of the best in the franchise. He has a lot of quips. He can be a badass. But then in this one, he'll have to team up with Jake Sully to get that kind of villain turns, not enemy turns friendly, if you will. I don't know. Almost like in X-Men when Magneto has to team up with the X-Men in like X-Men 2. But for some reason this character is one of the best. I don't know, just Stephen Lang and how he brings it, the presence that he brings to the role. I love how we expand the world of Pandora. There's a lot of interesting avenues that they go in this movie that will hopefully, if they make a fourth one, will be explored even more. Because they left a lot of things dangling at the end of the movie that you go, ooh, that's very interesting. I want to see where they take that now. For me, this is a 3 hour and 15 minute movie. This is only 5 minutes shorter than Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King. And I did not feel the runtime. Now, were there scenes that seemed very similar to the second movie, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, but as a story, going back into the world of Pandora and getting invested into the world, back into the characters, I was not bored watching this movie. I was very, like we were saying, Gladiator, are you entertained? Are you not entertained? Isn't that the reason you are here? You knew the movie was 3 hours and 15 minutes? You knew before going in. So, were you entertained? Yes, I was entertained. A lot of humor throughout. Stephen Lang's one-liners, stuff with the kids. So it works. And the action, of course, the action is great. Whether this is James Cameron, you go back and watch Terminator 2, one of the best action movies ever made. Aliens. They took a horror film like Alien and turned the sequel into an action movie. So of course the action is great too. Negative, but before we get into that, one of my main negatives is everything with the whales should have been taken out. The whales were so much of a focus in the last movie. That's why it was called The Way of Water. I mean, we spent so much time in the water with the whales. That they also do that again in here. And this is where a lot of people do not know. So I'm going to tell you now. Avatar 2 and 3 were shot at the same time. Just like movies like Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest, and At World's End, shot at the same time, or The Matrix Reloaded and The Matrix Revolutions, shot at the same time, or all three Lord of the Rings movies. I don't know why I'm clapping. Don't ask me. And I say that because you see so much of the whale stuff in this movie, and you would think, why didn't you just cut that out? You used it in the last movie. Well, James Cameron has come out and said that Avatar 2 and 3 were originally one movie. Could you imagine? 1 6-hour movie? And he said he had to split it into two. So that's why when you watch like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3, they feel more connected than the first Pirates of the Caribbean. Or when you watch The Matrix, 2 and 3, they feel more connected than the first Matrix movie. They still have through lines that go back to the first movie, but you can watch the second and third movies of those, franchises, and they definitely feel more connected. The same thing is here at Avatar. Not only do we get a lot of the whale stuff again that could have been taken out, we have there's at least one or two scenes where the action scenes were literally the exact same action scene, beat for beat and almost dialogue that we saw in the last movie. And this is where I say, even though the 3 hour and 15-minute runtime did not bother me, you could have easily made this movie less than 3 hours. 2 hours and 50, 2 hours and 45, by taking all the whale stuff out. There's too many too many storylines open. James Cameron has recently come out and said, if this movie does not make the money to justify a fourth movie, he said he felt like the film wraps up, the movie wraps up enough to end the trilogy. And I say, no, you don't say the magic word, You didn't say the magic word, This movie does not end as you would think of a trilogy, wrapping everything up. It leaves a lot dangling at the end, to the point that I say, you don't make a fourth movie, at least one more, no one's going to want to go back and watch this movie. Between having similar stuff from the last movie and leaving it open so much, you're going to just be like, I don't need to watch the third one. I'll just watch the first two and leave it at that. The second one was more of a complete story. And I mean, other than that, I also thought the villain started out strong. The female Varang, the female fire avatar, was played by Una Chaplin, the granddaughter of Charlie Chaplin. She started out great, but I felt like as the film went along, we started to see less and less of her, and she started to not become major, and the Colonel became more of a threat again than this new villain. Overall, like I said, these are the types of movies I go see, but I never go back and watch. I would still give this like a 4 out of 5. It kept me entertained. I love the visuals, the action, the humor. So let me know, did you see Avatar, Fire and Ash? Were you a fan of this movie? Do you want to see a fourth Avatar? Or do you want to see the franchise come to an end? If they do a fourth, they need to put Arnold in here somewhere. You got Kate Winslet in here. You got Sigourney Weaver. If Bill Paxton was still alive, he would have been in this movie by now, in this franchise. I mean, if you don't have Arnold show up at some point, game over, man. Game over. Game over, man. Anyway, Matt the Man here. Hit the like button. Hit that subscribe button. Let me know, what did you think of Avatar 3 or Avatar Fire and Ash?